Apocalypse Gaming.
Hey guys, so next stage of the plan will to make some pillars as various different types of crypts, tombstone markers. Again, thinking along the necropolis in Glasgow. Really big, impressive beasties, not ones for your commoner but for your aristocracy. And those maybe of a gentleman's club. Maybe this crypt could belong to a specific gentleman's club. Based upon my Empire of the Dead theming, but using Hurst's basic ideas, I'll be stealing from them on the same dungeon plan. So first one I'm going to do is a dead easy one, and it'll just be that stacked. Nice big colonnade for in the graveyard, which could be a marker for something, and may well have a figure on the top as a statue. One of the ones I definitely want to do, MD that knows Glasgow, we like our statues of people on horses. Well, I'm going to do a tombstone marker of a person on a horse. I'm not sure exactly how the layout of it will look. I'm considering, because Glasgow is a very famous landmark, it sort of doesn't fit in with the theme of the game, but it fits in with my personality, and making up or looking for a traffic cone to put on the head of the statue, because that's what we have in Glasgow. MD takes that traffic cone off that statue, somebody else puts it back on, the council have gave up removing it. So it'll be various different ones anyway, and I'll show you them as I construct each one individually so you can get a flavour for each one. So this is the horse I plan to use. As you can see, it would fit on a standard 2-inch long brick pretty easily. But that's going to look kind of narrow, so the column pillar that I make, I'm going to make it too broad at least and build out from there. So I'll now work out a design from that. So the next one will take a basis of something like this. That's a few bits that I've cobbled together and placed on it. I'm going to rummage through our bits because I'd like to fill that void with some sort of shield or plaque or something. I'm thinking dwarven bits that we've got might have something in there that I could chop up and stick onto those gaps just to add a bit more interest again, but otherwise that's roughly what it'll look like. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing the sections together. So the first part of that one I built is this, just with interlacing blocks. So it was 2-inch block, 1-inch block, and then 2-inch block, 1-inch block the opposite way round, so that I've got a strong interlinking structure, just as if it was a real brickwork building. So that's the main build done on this baby. I'll need to look through my bits box, as I say, and see what I can stick in here, but I'm thinking some sort of heraldic devices. And I know I've got tons of dwarven bits, and I'm sure if I look hard enough there'll be banner tops or something that'll look really good in this gap, as if it's carved stone to represent it. So I'll have a look, see what I've got, and once it's dry I'll add them. So the next construct is one straight off of Bruce's page, but you need to use these parts here, and as you can see as I rotate it, one of the edges is flat, so you need to take and carve in your own detail to that edge. The way Bruce suggests it and the way I do it, although I wouldn't suggest you do it for young people, is you take your hobby knife and you take your sharp end and you dig it in and chip out small sections as you go. But as you can see, all 4 sides are now chipped and carved. So it's this one here that I'm following the plan for this time, because it's a simple construct and it looks pretty good. It shows you Bruce's diagram saying add texture. Where it's not saying to add texture is to the flat surface on the inside curve, which is also going to need it, and I'll show you what I mean. So the brick, because that's the way it pours, and that's your flat smooth side, it's going to be flat and it's going to be showing when you make the piece. So again, all I do is take my knife and dig in and create a texture on there. And these will sit on the top of this. Just quickly show you the individual parts. It's 4 of each of these parts stacked. So it's a simple construct, and I should fly through that one too. So again, just to make my life easy, I'm building in layers. So that'll be the 3 separate layers. I've got middle, bottom, top in reverse order, with the top needing inverted, sides, and then the crown points. So I'll just let those 3 sections dry up before joining them together. By doing it that way, I'm guaranteeing each of them to get their own levels rather than stacking up, although I'm sanding slightly in between each one too. Same as with this one. I built all 3 bits. I've now glued this one to that one, and I'm waiting for that to dry, and then I'll add this part. And just to add a bit of strength, although it doesn't look as nice in the joins, I've rotated by 90 degrees, and that way it's not going to split down the entire length of the column. Can fill that with a little bit of all the stuff I've been sanding, because I've got plenty of sanded plaster about and a little bit of glue, or just a little bit of glue. We'll see how it looks, see if it needs it. So all I'm doing is I've taken a little bit of white glue, and I've got all this sawdust or plaster dust lying around my table. I'm just mixing it onto the brush and then rubbing it into the scene. Too difficult to do this with a freehand camera, but you get the idea. Then I'm taking my wet brush and rubbing it back to hide the seam, which has pretty much disappeared on that top one. It won't be perfect, but it gives a better impression than leaving the gap open.